Just to conclude the North Cultitude concept, it's all about collaboration. It's all about changing the way we see the geography that we are. It's about identity. It's about try to have collaboration the total other way, because as Ole said, normally you look at the big towns, the big administration centers, you look down, you look south normally. Seldom east-west. So that was the whole thing. That was so interesting to start working and see, because we didn't know what we could find, and we didn't actually know where we were on Earth. That South Greenland is Oslo, for example, Stockholm. It's like totally new way of look at the Earth. And I mean, the Earth is round. There are no center on Earth. The center is there you are, always. All the other way of thinking is just made up. So, that was one of the things. And, you know, the network, North Cultitude, is a network. We don't do projects, we do activities that we collect people, we invite people from the culture sector and anyone who wants to be with us. And we're trying to make international collaboration. So this is also an open invitation, of course, to all you, especially here in Kristiansund right now. Right? So I'm going to talk about how to engage a whole municipality, a whole town, everyone, and trying to also work with identity, but also see what do we have here, what can we do, what the potential, and doing a big, crazy performance. That's what I'm doing. And then also I'm going to show a little bit about theater and internet. Not internet, sorry, beyond internet. Okay. So, and this is just the image who I think is so interesting that about center and about Earth. Normally the map doesn't look like that, like this. Normally it's a totally different story, and we have like everything down there is much more organized, and we are up here in the middle of nothing. But that's not true, of course. But if you go in Sweden, this is a big problem. I mean, the media and everyone is so concentrated today around Stockholm, a little bit Göteborg maybe Umeå. But now, okay, we're building factories for battery and things. So now things are a little bit changing maybe. Okay. So, city performance. This is something I started to work with in the 90s together with Tomo Hapala, who at that time had done a few of those big performances. And the idea was to be coming to a town, we look at the history, we look what's going on, and we look at the future. And we're trying to engage as many people as we can. So for example, this performance, we had like 1,200 people in the production, and many of them was children. So every child have a family, have a grandfather, grandmother, and so on. So there was no problem to get about 15,000 people in the audience. So that's also one thing. But the whole thing is to work together, look at the place specific, look at what do we have here. We like building collaboration, big collaboration. But to do this, we have to do some very spectacular things who make this interesting, though. This is Nordic in Sweden, and this is just a little bit of the audience. There were, this maybe one of the third. It started with a guy up on the roof there playing a trumpet, and his wife singing and putting down her hair in the other side of the river here. And the hair is about 60 meters long from a tower like that. And there was a kind of love story. And we have trombone players on the roof going around a pipe with raincoats. And on the top of this pipe, we put like a lock or something. And they were standing inside the water playing on this roof. And we also have a full moonlight also. This was something to competing with our lightning though. To do this sounds, okay, wow, this is looking good. But to do this, we have to work with the fire department. We have to work with divers, climbers. We have to work with metal industry and so on and so on. This is the way to get everyone into to part of this big performance. Yeah, we also build a organ, I don't know the English word for it, gungbräda. So you have 4 pipes going down in the water and you have pressure and you could open the ventils and play. So you have 4 pipes on every person going like that. So they could play together with the symphony orchestra. Norrköping is an all, this is like a big textile industry in Sweden. Before, and this is all fabric, all industry. So we took details from the museum, from the textiles, and project them on the wall. And there we have a violin player 4 meters out over the river playing, and we have here we have like a choreographer doing like details, making this fantastic cloth material, and we have a diving club in the water taking this out, and to get this up in, we got to have the wrestling club lying on the floor taking this up, and she's doing that. And then also we have this vävmaskin, sorry, playing to the music, doing like that, and a symphony orchestra, of course. So here she come and play with this. And actually, this was on the fleet, and we have 2 guys from Iraq trying to row this. It was totally crazy, but it went well, though. Very hard. Yeah, here you can see Tali, she's sitting and playing in the projection over the water. And then we have a cycling, everyone was cycling to the industry before, of course, and we have a choir of 420 singers coming on bikes down, and they're getting off, going at the shore and singing very loud and very like in trance. And we put up the bikes here, and we have percussion guys playing on the wheels. And they were singing, and here is Moa Martinsson, you know, Swedish writer, and she's turning around and telling us one of her poems. And the music will get more and more intense, and she is flying up to the heaven. There she are now. I mean, she's dead, so she's left us. So. But the music was very interesting, so it is very fantastic. So what we are doing, we like doing the big performances is like parts, like scenes, we call them, like 9 different scenes. We put, they are very different, and we can put the different order and things, so we can manipulate this, and we always do that with the people we work with. I mean, we're doing the artistic concept, but we work with so many different people in every part of this performance. So it's a water screen, big water screen, is about 30 meter to 20 meter high, and it's a film from this house from 20s. This is quite nice. And also we had the symphony orchestra coming on the river. And they had to play, in the end of the performance, they have to play a Stravinsky's Firebird, and it would be at least 58 musicians. And they have to have 1 square meters, that's the law. So the fleet have to depend on the music play. So it will be at least 58 meters big. And it was very hard to find, but we worked with the military who built this for us. This was like a bridge or something. But it's got very heavy. So we took the athletes from the town, and they were just taking the whole fleet upstreams like that, and we put good lights on, and they look quite good. And we had them on both sides, so we can go like this. So I think it's about 80 tons or something like that. Burning, yeah. The Russians have burned down the town, and we did a scene about this. Opera singer going up and singing about the town is burning. And we also have the climbers doing a ballet on the wall. We had, and in the end of this performance, we had this Firebird, Stravinsky's Firebird, and I made a flying train coming. There is actually 70% of full size, and it was only 150 kilos. And I was standing on the roof and taking it on a wire. It was really crazy. Yeah, it looks like that. And this is actually the oldest still going tram in Norrköping. So you could see this on the roof. So everyone could recognize it. So, wow. And we normally, Tomo is very interested in elks, in mooses, so we always have swimming, singing, or diving mooses. That's good. We did also the Helsinki culture capital, the big performance in Masajad shipyard in Helsinki. This is the biggest room in the world, actually. This is only the half room. It's 45 meter wide, 45 meter in the roof, and 330 meters long. And here they built the biggest, at that time, the biggest luxury cruises going in Caribbean and things like that. So they are so interesting to go in a place like this. You can use the construction, the cranes, everything. So this was a good playing ground for us. And we did 4 performances here for 16,000 people. And here we could fly with a real train, actually. And we had a choir with old pensions workers who were flying there. And we have a diving choir, flying elk. We normally have. We have 40 angels falling in bungee from the roof down in the water at one time, because we have an invasion of the angels. It's also a poem, a Finnish poem we work with. And we have the screaming choir, the Finnish screaming choir, what we put up on the roof, the wall. And at the end, the symphony orchestra were flying through the whole room, through the audience, and playing Sibelius. And that was that. Normally, a performance like this is about 1.5 hours or something. But it takes about 8 months to build it, to construct it, and to engage everyone, and to actually know what we should do. But we never know that. We work with it into the end. We're changing everything. So from those performances, I'm with my own art. I do art performances with the skirt, which is 250 square meters and 16 meters high. And I normally put opera singer or other singers up. And this is also place specific. We come into a place, we work with the musicians in the place, and we're doing a new thing every time. So this is this summer, last summer, in Mannaminne in Sweden. And we also have, you see, a real-time animation tag tool who's projected on the skirt. And this is all changing to the music, and the musicians are, because they have normally, this is like a workshop. They have 1 day to make this performance. And we have Charlotte Kerbs, a Finnish singer from Malakta, up there. This is really good. It's really fun to see this. Problem is that I can never see it because I'm always beside the skirt doing the lift. I'm driving the lift and putting her up, so I can never see it. But it's good that I take photo of it. This is in Stangvik Festival this summer. And Sigrid Westerberg, you know her, Westerberg, yes, Sigrid, of course, going up, and it was blowing very much, so we couldn't go the all the way up. But it was a great performance, though. She's a great singer. Yeah, and what's the name, Ole? She's playing the cello. Isn't she here? You know. Yeah, she's from Azerbaijan. Okay, sorry. Yeah. Yeah. Isn't here an opera or something? Yeah. Okay. Right. So I will just. This is going on now for next year. Actually, yesterday I get okay for this project. We're doing in Sundsvall 400 years celebration of the town. It should be before COVID, but now we have put it. We celebrate anyway next year, and we have we have a big workshop. Everyone is coming with input and things they could do. I could go by bicycle. I'm good at diving. I'm good at flying. I'm good at that and that. And we put all this together in the big plate, and we say, okay, right, let's try to do something interesting with this. So we're trying to engage so many people we can when we come to those places, and especially, I mean, how do we work with sport? Football, for example. Well, how do we work? Yeah, but you can use the football with music or something, or you can do. So we're trying to figure how could we do that, or how could we do that. So everyone gets so engaged in this performance. So this is about also the history. History is very important for the identity or for what we are doing, and what is going on today. Yeah, with university or industry and so on, and future. What could happen on this place? Sankt Olav, which is very known also here, of course, he actually came to Sundsvall with his army of 3,000 Vikings, and going from Sundsvall to Trondheim. And this is something I think we should start with in Sundsvall then. Yeah, and we have many different kind of things who had happened here, like Elvira Madigan, who was a pole dancer, and she met her sergeant who was really in love with, and it's a sad story, and she took her life and fall down. This is a known story, and actually this is what's happening in Stockholm. This is the other guy here is Arcadia. I work a lot with Arcadia. He's an illusionist, and he's really crazy, and this is a Houdini trick he has copied. So we're going to do something about that, because before they always make, in 1850 somewhere, they built circus in towns. That was a new thing, permanent circus. So we will do something about that in Sundsvall. I work with containers. Containers are good. You can build houses with them, very easy. This is it's not a good image though, but I have the percussion playing in all the containers there. That's the idea. And the industry, of course, in Sundsvall was leading in the world, actually, with the wooden industry in the end of the 1800s. So I will take the sound from the saw system there, which is going like this, like dung, dung, and it's making very strange sound, and I'm trying to get that sound back, and I will work with this calliope. I found one called calliope. Calliope is a steam-driven organ, who normally is very, very big, and you take it with a horse. and I found one in Sweden. So that's something I will try to get into this performance next year. Yeah, and also, of course, all the artists have to be there, have to do something. And choirs, and dancers, wrestlers, swimmers. Yeah. Now we're going to be in the square. We want to have access to water, so we'll see what we do with that. And this is a little bit of a plan for that. But now at last I will tell you about something Ole said also. This is about communication. Skype wasn't very good. And I have worked with the Riksteatern in Sweden and KTH University for 10 years and trying to make contents to this new interact communication system, which is very simple to, it's like we don't use internet, we use the same cables, the same fiber cables, but we just send light signals between routers. We don't have a program for it. So we work with the speed of light. And this work, actually, this work. So we can do that. And now in September, my play, I'm working with Riksteatern in Sweden and Philip Alexandersson, who is doing the manuscript, is going to be in 3 towns. It's going to be in Trondheim, in Sundsvall, and in Karleby, in Finland. We're going to have one actor on every stage, and the other 2 projected on transparent material. So it's going to look in Trondheim like this. You see, this guy is there, the other is projected. In Karleby, it will look like that. And in Sundsvall, it will look like that. Right? This is very complicated. They're going to interact in real time. They're going to sing, they're going to dance, they're going to play theater. But what's happened if this guy who is standing on this stage leave the camera and going to the audience and discuss something or have a monologue or something, he won't be seen on the other towns in the other countries. So we actually make 3 manuscripts with the same play, but you will see it in 3 different ways. So it's a little bit of quant physics in this. So this is what I like the idea more. The script is good, of course. I wouldn't say anything about that, but I like the idea to what happened if we as an audience we also use the audience and project them on the walls. Then we got a theater like that, an amphitheater, and where actually is the play going on and how is it? Well, maybe it's a 4th room here, something like that. So that was something that triggered me. That's why the idea, and also, of course, North Cultitude is in this. Here you can see she's sitting in Stockholm, she's sitting in Finland, and she's sitting in another place in Sweden. So this is a little bit how it's going to look then. And she's, yeah, this is 500 kilometers between those persons. And they're trying to, the thing is, only she can see her, she can't see her. Yeah. So, and also you can use things that you go closer to the camera, things totally change then. You can use that in some situations, but we won't make television. We won't make effect like that. We're trying to still make theater, and so we are a little bit careful with those things then. So what we're doing, we are also working now in Trondheim and with Rosendal Theater, which is the play is going to be. But we work also with UKM and help me, Fabiola. Norsk kulturskoleråd, I say it in Norway, Norsk kulturskoleråd, UKM, and also the municipality and the Trøndelag region to make this happen with the culture schools also. Because if you live here, maybe not here, because here you have good musicians, we have the opera and everything, but maybe you want to play electric guitar, you want to learn to be the best of electric guitar, you can go into a room and use this technique, and you can get a teacher from Oslo, from Stockholm, or whatever, and you don't have any delay in transmission. And this is something totally new, actually. So this is something we're also trying to get. So this is how it looks right now, the places that we are working with this technique. I just show you this because this is our sponsors. Now you've seen that, okay, fine. Yeah, right. I also want to invite you, because I'm working also at this place called Mannaminne in Sweden, in the high coast, as we say in Sweden. I can't say it here in Norway because the high coast is ridiculous compared to what you have here. But in Sweden, this really is high coast. And that's Mannaminne, great place. Anders Åberg made this, an artist. He worked in 30 years. He built 53 houses with so many crazy things. We have, for example, 7 trams. We have from Trondheim, Germany, and so on, and very much art. And this is a very, very interesting place to visit. And I'm the developer of this place right now. So. Before I stop, I have, yesterday, when we were talking, I really, I got this knowledge. Actually, Kristiansund är vänskapsby with Härnösand. I live in Härnösand. And this was really crazy, and this is also North Cultitude, straight. So this is something maybe we should look at. And in Kokkola, Karleby, there is also, the theater is going on also in Karleby, so it's one of the theaters. So this is also a link maybe to start, because in last year, I know that this is not going on for the last year so somehow, I don't know, but from 1938 it started until 4 years ago or something. All right, that was my speech. Thank you.